Hey teachers, this presentation is about positive reinforcement. What do you do in your classroom to make sure you support your students in any type of way? So we know when we have positive reinforcement, there's improved achievement, enhanced engagement, thinking of participation in the classroom, and students are motivated to participate and really change their behavior to meet the needs of the teacher's expectations. Think about the types of positive reinforcement, whether it's verbal recognition, thinking about great job for completing the specific math problem from last week's math problem, being very specific. What are your social rewards? Maybe your high five, your fist bumps, your dances that you do so students know that you're really excited about them making achievement, or like activities or rewards. So maybe there is a lunch, a special lunch that you do in your classroom, or maybe it's a store that you open up in your classroom, whatever it takes for positive reinforcements. So when we want to provide verbal praise, we're thinking of how we specific. I like how you help the classmate on problem 3. Being very specific so students know the behavior and they can meet the needs of, meet the expectations of the behavior that you want to see. Also immediate timing. We are competing with 24-hour turnaround. So thinking of how fast do you recognize the behavior and actually mark it? You're either saying it or putting it up and posting it, right? And then focusing on your efforts. You know, I like you worked hard on this writing skill. You went from one sentence to one paragraph. And then trying to think about that, that ability-based praise, right? You are so smart, that fixed mindset. Try to stay away from that. I like to think about a token system, whether you're establishing clear rules, defining your behavior for your tokens or your bucks, or thinking about what you're doing to give them cash. So you're tracking their progress, so students are seeing it. It's either visual, it's a bank, they're earning, everything is transparent so everybody knows. What is your valuable rewards? Like maybe you want to get input from the students so they can actually be able to dictate what's in the store, and then try to be consistent. If the store doesn't open on Friday because you were absent, try to open it on Monday. Consistency is key. We think about this wheel of positive classroom environment, like clear expectation, make sure the rules are posted, make sure that's modeled. Role playing is really good with this. What are your engagement activities? How do you make sure that students are up and excited and ready to learn? There's a positive ratio. I like to say this, there's a 5-to-1 praise, 5 praises to 1 criticism, and being able to really work to find the good intent on every student. And then student choice, trying to make your classroom a little flexible, where when students complete an assignment or when they have finished a task, they can either co-lead an activity with you, but maybe there's choices in their classroom after they've completed the assignment. So there's different things you can do with different age groups. So elementary is good for stickers, charts, treasure box, maybe a school mascot, and even lunch. Middle school is good for like privilege cards, maybe a privileged desk. You get to sit at the teacher desk. You need to co-teach. Maybe there's social recognition, like it's posted on the board. Maybe there's tech time. I've even had music time. There's choice boards, as well as so students get to select something that they want to do. For high school, I know there's leadership roles, and that works with middle school as well. But for high school, homework passes have been very successful. Responsibility, where they get to become the leader in this specific area, or a recognition wall. One of the things what high school students like is when they're recognized and all the other groups get to see how great they performed on this task. All right, so these are some of the best practices for ongoing success. Just be consistent, be able to constantly reinforce some of the things that you're doing with some celebrations, spread recognition. Maybe you're telling other teachers, you're telling the principal, maybe it gets announced over the intercom if it's a large progress. Maybe there's partial schedules, so there's a flex schedule for rewards, really continuing that motivation. And then always identify the areas that you made strides in and some of the areas that you haven't, and go ahead and flex that to evaluate what you need to change for the future. Hope these tips help. Talk to you later for more. Bye.